This is a print called Pines. It's by Tony O'Malley, the Irish artist Tony O'Malley. Now, as it happens, I picked this up in a charity shop this morning. There's a charity shop just across the road from me. I went in, it was there for a fiver. So I bought it. And I like woodcuts, lithographs, etchings. And I've been collecting on and off since the late 70s. And I have a particular liking for Irish artists from the 60s, 70s, that period. Now my walls are pretty much covered with pictures. So what I do instead now is, a few years ago I bought this, I don't know if you can see it, Ink Stained Hands, Brian Lalor. And for the last couple of years now, instead of buying pictures to put up on my wall, I buy unframed prints and I slip them into this book, into the leaves. And I take the book down every so often and look at the various prints. And of course, one of the things about woodcuts and all that is that it's an affordable way to buy art. You'll buy very good woodcuts from, well, probably a reasonable size woodcut. So you get a very good one for $250, depending on the artist. And that little Tony O'Malley one I picked up today, I'm not sure the exact price. My guess would be, because it's O'Malley, 120, maybe up to 160, something like that for a small woodcut. So I'm happy with that. But I'd be lost without my pictures. I look at these literally every day, and many, many times during the day. You know, there are people, they buy a picture, they put it on the wall, but they don't really look at it, or in the hallway, or on the stairs. And they don't really look, but I do every day, and many times, as I say, every day. My favorite artist is Michael Caine. And I have several of his woodcuts. I've got a mixed media, and I've got a canvas by him, and all in this one room. So much so now that I really don't have any wall space left. So that I buy these very small prints and slip them in the pages of this Ink Stained Hands, which is basically history of, well, a modern history of art prints in Ireland. But every time I switch this camera on, my mind goes blank. I always know what I'm going to say. I'd be thinking something up in my head, and I've got it all prepared, and then I sit down, and the minute I go on camera, suddenly I forget everything. So you have to bear with me. But yeah, Michael Caine. And I've got a mixed media, but it's mixed media, you could call it, Charlie Cullen. And I've got a little Charlie Cullen on the wall over there, but it's not in your picture now. And this puppet, no, this one here, This is Alice Hanratty. So this is my little modest art collection, and as I said, they're affordable. And I would say most of my woodcuts I bought or prints I bought from the graphic studio in Tampa Bar. And if you like art and you want to have some nice quality art in your house that you can look at every day of the week, go down to the graphic studio and, as I say, for a very modest price, you can have a superb work of art, a real work of art, signed by the artist on your wall for 250, maybe 200, maybe less. And if you buy them unframed, if you've got a frame yourself at home, unframed, maybe from €100 upwards. And there are, of course, people who won't spend money on these because they have no investment value. Woodcuts and that type of thing, they don't become really rare. They don't become valuable. So they have no, excuse me, I've got the sniffles. So they've no investment value. And you can't boast to your friends that you've got this painting worth thousands and thousands. But if you really like art, they're priceless in a sense. You've got something to look at every day, and every day I find myself consciously looking at them and drinking in the pleasure I get from it. So in a very real sense, if you like art and maybe you don't have any, or maybe you think it's maybe too expensive, then go to a good gallery like the graphic studio. Doesn't have to be the graphic studio, but go to a good gallery and a nice woodcut. You'll have it for life. It'll give you pleasure for life. So they're actually very, very cheap. They're incredibly cheap. And so that's it. My Tony O'Malley. That will come out of its frame. You can't really see it there. You can't get the benefit. But the style it's typical that style. I don't know what you call it. There's a slightly naive, if you've seen any of his landscapes, he has a slightly naive perspective. So I'd say that'll come out of the frame now, and I'll go into my book. And it will give me a lot of pleasure. So there you are.